Hey guys, hello. Welcome to another Hot Jobs with us here at HireMilitary. Thank you so much for joining us today. If this is your first time that you've come along, it's amazing to see you. We hope you enjoy it. We will tell you a little about the format of the show in a bit so that you can understand where you may want to dip in or dip out or hang around for the whole 30 minutes. If you are an OG with us here, then great to see you again. Drop your name in the chat. Tell us that you're here. We really want to say hi to you. Today we will be going through new SkillBridge internship opportunities and new direct hire, so permanent recruitment opportunities. If any of those sound like, wow, yeah, I definitely need to hear more about that, learn more about that, drop the actual role in the chat and let us know that you're interested. If you say this one, when we go back to the comments later after the live, we're not 100% sure which one this one is and have to sit through it again. So hi to Keisha, hi to Tasha, hi to Audrey. Audrey's in the chat. Ashley, Candice, Theodis, it's so lovely to see. Oh, first time. Hayden Baloo. I've heard lots about you. Lovely to see you here. Alexis, I'm glad that you're here on your first time as well. We are here for the whole of the military community, whether you are a spouse, whether you are a veteran or a transitioning service member. So tell us what you need and what you are looking for. We do scrape the comments after this and have regular meetings with our business development team about what our community is actively looking for in terms of themes and locations. And we change our strategy and our approach based on the information that you share with us. So it is incredibly important for us. If you do say hi in the chats, Joshua, Christopher, Jacob, Isaac, Anthony, lovely to see you. Oh my gosh, from Waverley Way, no way. That's where I used to live and Minot. Do we know each other? I don't know. I'm looking at the photo right now. I'm not sure that we do. Tell us if you're watching live or if you're watching after the event. We like to know that information as well so we know who to prioritize when it comes to responding to the comments. In the event for this today, we actually put 2 links, and those links are specifically for joining our talent pool. We want to capture your interest. We want to remember and know that you are looking for roles at the moment. So if you have the opportunity and the time, please do register your interest and your detail there, and be sure to pick the right one. There is a specific link for those who are looking for SkillBridge internships. There is a specific link for those looking for permanent recruitment, and absolutely put your name and your details in both, but try and pick the right one that works for you. Our team here at HireMilitary is growing like a weed. In fact, we've got another new recruiter starting on Monday. And so as such, we will be changing the format and changing who is joining us. So you may see a newish face if you've been around a while. However, that newish face has probably been, well, she's been here longer than me, has been here longer than all of us. Brandy Walker normally sits in the chat, so it's really lovely to have her with us today. As we move on, let's do some introductions. I'm Lucy. I head up the talent acquisition team here at HireMilitary. As you just heard, formerly of Minot, North Dakota, the Air Force Base there, now situated more happily than I was 6 months ago at Eielson Air Force Base in the interior of Alaska, where it's definitely not summer and it's not fall anymore. We are absolutely banging into winter. Not as badly as Florida is right now. So if you're in Florida, our hearts go out to you and we hope that you are staying safe. But it's really lovely to be here with you guys today. Amber, I'm going to pass it over to you.
Thanks, Lucy. My name's Amber. I am a recruiter here with HireMilitary, Air Force veteran. I see so many people. It's their first time joining, so very, very happy to have all of you new folks with us today. Be sure and connect with our entire team today. Not just who you see on the screen, but we also have Audrey and Paul in the comments. We have Matt Hart joining in the comments today, so be sure to connect with our entire team. Very excited to be sharing a couple roles with you that we'll get to a little bit later on. Brandy, I'm going to pass it your way.
Thanks, Amber. So it has been since February 8th. I did the calculation since I was last on a Hot Jobs. So, hey, everybody, good to see you again, or, welcome to me first timers. So I'm actually up here in the Pacific Northwest in that Seattle area. It's great up here. My husband is a retired Army. So I did grow up Navy, joined the Army, met him at AIT. So if anybody in the Army knows, that's training. We're one of those weird marriages that actually worked out. So it's been going on 28 years in February. So they do occasionally work out. So glad to be here, and I'm ready to share a couple jobs with you later on. Buff, off to you.
Hello, everyone. I'm co-located up here in the Pacific Northwest with Brandy Walker. 6 months ago, Brandy Walker was my actual recruiter that recruited me. Little fun fact for the day. But I am stationed here right outside Joint Base Lewis McCourt, just south of Tacoma. I'll be sharing some skill bridge opportunities with you guys, and I can't wait. Back to you, Lucy.
There are so many people here today, you guys. We've got John in Germany. We've got Christopher from Vandenberg. Where else? We've got representing from Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Kayla's here. This is really exciting. All of you looking for, I see Terry saying a top paying job. We all want those top paying jobs, Terry. I definitely am one of those people. Remote roles too. So we're going to share some opportunities in a little while. For your situational awareness, and so that you're aware, we do have a short period of time to talk through opportunities with you today. So what we share really is a highlight reel of what's new this week. If it doesn't pertain to you, it isn't the location, it isn't the career field, please don't worry. Go onto our website. It's HireMilitary.us. So HireMilitary.us. Our roles there change on a daily, even hourly basis. So if there's nothing there right now that you are interested in or really sells itself to you or lends itself to you, like I said earlier, join our talent pool so that we can update you and tell you when the new roles do come on board. Before we get going, last week we started a new little segment, and we're going to just move into that right now as well, where we are talking to the veterans on our talent acquisition team, just to get a good idea, just a 2 or 3 minute idea of how their transition was. So if you are in the period of transition, if you're prepping and planning for transition, or even if you've been there yourself, some of this experience or information may resonate with you. We are going to ask before, so we call him Buff in our team, a couple of questions, because he only started with us permanently last Monday, so about 7 working days ago. And up until that point, he was a SkillBridge intern with our team. So, Buff, I did prep you earlier so that you could have a think about the questions I was going to ask. This isn't completely organic, but I don't know the answers. He knows the questions. I don't know the answers. So my first question to you is, you were a medic in the Army for your entire career, and now you are in talent acquisition. You're a recruiter. What incited that change in your heart and in your mind?
Thanks, Lucy. I want to say I did 20 years as an Army combat medic, and the last thing I thought I would be doing would be talent acquisitions or recruiting or anything HR related. The last thing I had planned going into this, and I'm so excited that I kept my mind open and my aperture open, as we say, to new things, and I'm happy for it. My family's better for it as well. But to make that career pivot, I knew that I was kind of medically, I've done accomplished everything I could in the medical field professionally. I met all the benchmarks that I'd like to hit, made the ranks, climbed the ranks all the way to exec from line medic in the airborne infantry regiment, kind of just taking care of feet and making sure folks stayed in the fight, all the way to executive healthcare at a large medical center. And taking care of elderly patients and wounded warriors. So I felt I met all my personal goals and my benchmarks, and I was okay with doing a career pivot.
Interesting. So from that, let's talk about your transition, because it is incredibly recent.
Yes.
How has your transition shaped and changed the way that you talk to transitioning service members?
First off, in my transition timeline, I am still on terminal leave. I am 3 weeks into my terminal leave with 45 days to go until I actually retire out of the military. So backwards planning at 180 days. I already had the signature started for my skill bridge, and that's how I planned my timeline to hopefully have a gainful employment during my terminal leave, and it worked out and it wasn't by accident. It was by planning and a few open doors and being open to new things. But how I lead that in with transitioning service members is I share my timeline with them to show that it is doable. It is feasible if you take if you plan early and network early, and again, keep your mind open to other options versus going for the big jobs for Boeing or Google. Not to say that it's not hard to achieve, but going after the big name organizations, it technically, realistically takes time. So kind of how do you take smaller steps to get there. So I share that with my timeline when I store with transitioning service members.
I love that. I love that because, a lot of the time people don't know when to start. They don't know how to do it. They don't know where to go, what to do at specific points. So because you're living it right now, it makes it really easy for you to share that information. Yeah. One more question, and this is a big one and a tough one, especially for those transitioning right now. So the economic climate here in the US is a totally different place right now to where it was 180 days ago when you first embarked on your transition. And your SkillBridge journey. So based on that, what is one piece of advice that you would share now from what you've learned in the past 3 months?
Thanks again, Lucy. It's a tough question. It's a complex answer, and sometimes one answer doesn't fit each person's time frame or family needs. However, I think the backwards planning is still necessary. At 100, before my 180-day window opened up, at 9 or 10 months, I was already interviewing and networking for a job. And I went to my battalion commander because the SkillBridge requirement has an 05 or 06 signature. At 9 or 10 months, I didn't know what SkillBridge I was going to, but I went to their calendar, to the secretary, to the calendar, and I made an appointment for a signature. I didn't know what company I'd be going with. I didn't know what organization, what job I'd be landing, because I had many of them. But I went to there and I got on their calendar and walked away with a signature on that day on my month, 190 days. So even though the economic climate changed drastically, you can still backwards plan, still get on the calendar, and also educate your command in your benefit.
So what I hear is you took control of your own destiny and you made it happen.
Literally made it happen.
Thank you. I really do appreciate that insight. And it really is good information and new information for me as well to share. So we're going to continue with Buff now. He is going to segue quite nicely into segue twice, SkillBridge internship opportunities for those of you who are looking right now. And these roles are open at the moment and potentially could be open in a couple of months' time as well. So if you are looking for an internship, if you are about to go into your last 180 days, or if you're in there right now, definitely do connect with before Audrey Paul, our other SkillBridge intern, who is working as a recruiter here on our team, and the rest of us here at HireMilitary. I saw Jack said he was here earlier to network away, Jack. Connect, add us all on LinkedIn so that you see our posts and the information that you share. So over to you, Buff.
All right. Just a tech caveat, as we say, HireMilitary provides DoD-approved SkillBridge internship opportunities for transitioning service members in their last 6 months of service. The time is calculated from your EAS or ETS. And our internships typically last between 90 to 120 days, mainly based on your performance and other factors. There's a high probability for full-time employment upon completion. The two roles I'd like to am excited to share are, the first one is a remote role. I know remote roles are highly sought after. This is an IT company. It's an IT role. Again, that's remote. The company's name is Bits.io. The role is professional service consultant. And some of the requirements they're asking for is basic understanding of Python, Java, Bash, SQL, and a bachelor's or equivalent in IT field. What's helpful in this field is also 3 to 5 years of data analytics experience. But again, if you're in that field or trying to get in that industry with some certifications, reach out and we'll definitely line you up with the hiring manager. Again, it's Bits.io, remote professional service consultant. My other role that I'm excited to share is with a company. It's a leading global provider of analytics for food and agriculture industry. Is FOSS. The role is a field service engineer. They're looking for a mechanical engineering type individual with a background in engineering, with a 2-year degree or coursework in electronics or military training. That will be considered for the role. The locations are 2 in New York, Buffalo and Rochester, and also 1 in La Crosse, Wisconsin. The ideal candidate for this role is in the Army is, we call them biomedical technicians. That's the equivalent. And then also in the Navy, they call them a fire control technician. So if you're in that arena, or if you want to go to those locations, please reach out. We'll be happy to line you up. Please check out all of our roles, though, at HireMilitary.us under the SkillBridge internship tab. You can filter by state. You can also filter by industry for more information. And that's all I have, Lucy. Thank you.
You're an absolute star. Thank you. While I hand over, well, just before I hand over to Amber, if any of you have any questions that you want to ask us today, any challenges, obstacles that you are facing during your transition, or if you're a milspouse looking for work, or if you're a veteran looking for work as well, please do drop them in the chat, because we do spend the last couple of minutes or so acknowledging as many of them as we possibly can and giving you the answers from our perspective and our recruiting experience. If we don't get to them and we don't have the chance, we will come back and we will jot you an answer in the comments later. So we definitely do want to hear if you have any questions for us at all. But whilst you're thinking of those and adding those to our comments, I am going to hand over to Amber, who is going to kick us off with our permanent recruiting positions.
Yes, ma'am. I'm really excited to see some of the questions you guys have. So start dropping them in the chats there. In the meantime, though, let me tell you about our direct hire opportunities. I think we have 115 today. So don't worry, I'm not going to be sharing all of those. I won't bore you. But I'll start off with a couple that we have down in Florida. Thinking of everybody down in Florida, of course. But the first few I have are an aircraft mechanic and an avionics tech. These are out of the Space Coast in Rockledge, Florida, working with a provider of aviation services. So high-level overview for both of these roles, you're going to be working with the Dash 8 aircraft. They are seeking somebody that does have that FAA A&P license and 8 years experience working with fixed-wing aircraft. So that's an aircraft mechanic and an avionics tech out of Rockledge, Florida. If this is sort of seems like your ballpark and not quite making the mark here, we also have a quality control position. Same location, drop it in the chats. If you're interested, send me a message if you have some questions after you look at that job description. So moving along, I also have a cloud infrastructure engineer. This one is based out of Chicago. They're looking at a little bit of a hybrid position here. So sometimes spent at home, sometimes spent there face-to-face, working with the cloud infrastructure systems to develop, implement governance policies, and really support the web and data development team as a whole. A little bit about our client. They are about a 200-year-old company. They're a leader in the metal distribution industry. So they're doing some really, really exciting things. They have a very, very rich history. This cloud infrastructure engineer, they're looking for about 2 to 3 years of experience with cloud infrastructure. Experience with AWS is a must. So if you're interested, drop it in the chats. And I'm going to say the same thing here. If this tech space is something of interest to you, do check out our roles. We have others that are in the Chicago area. We've got other tech-related roles nationwide. So take a look. I'm going to share one more with you today. I have a supply chain manager. This is out of Houston. You may have seen Matt Hart in the comments. He is running lead on this one, so he'll be happy to answer any questions. But our client for this particular role provides owners, developers, investors, and property managers with innovative and sustainable central plant water solutions. So this is a brand new position with their company, and they really, really want to place a veteran in this role. Bachelor's degree is preferred. If you have some rockstar supply chain management experience, they would absolutely consider that in place of the formal education. They do also prefer the lean manufacturing certification and 3 years of supervisory experience. So again, that's a supply chain manager out of Houston. We have a couple other roles that are, same company, based out of Dallas, based out of Austin. So if you are interested in this sort of supply chain management, reach out, drop it in the chat, let us know so that we can make sure to get some answers for you and share all the details that we can. Brandy, I'm going to pass it over to you.
Thanks, Amber. I did see someone said they're interested, but they didn't put the role down. So just as a reminder, if there is a role you're interested in, please put what that role is so we can follow it up. We will probably never know when you say this one, and we don't know what that one is. So just a quick reminder on that one. I have 2 roles for you today. One is a sales representative in the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area. So it is a veteran-owned small business and an industry leader in the modular space solutions. And this role, as a sales representative, you'll partner with the branch manager and other sales reps to increase the volume of product sales. They're looking for someone with a bachelor's in business administration, would love someone who's proficient in Salesforce and Microsoft Office. But if your experience is limited, then, just that willingness to learn. And they would also like someone, that's a preferred one, to have some direct sales experience. So that is the sales representative in the DFW metro area. And then my last role that I'm going to do, it's just a second role actually, is a pricing analyst in Alexandria, Virginia. And it is a hybrid role. So you need to be able to come into the office. So that DC metro area, I'm sure you can live like that outskirts of Maryland and in Virginia, DC, that whole giant area. It's actually where we PCS from. So it is a pricing analyst, will join a talented team of the bid and proposal team responsible for supporting growth efforts. They're looking for 2 to 5 years experience in professional services, specializing in pricing, program control, financial analysis, market research, and they have been focused on providing business strategies, competitive intelligence, or market research, all within a federal or state marketplace. So it's kind of like 3 different things within one area. And then you'll also need to have 1 year of analytical experience and a bachelor's degree for this role. And it's the pricing specialist or pricing analyst out of that Alexandria, Virginia area. It's a hybrid role. So definitely just need to be able to commutable distance. That's all I have, Lucy.
Wow, you guys have had a lot of interest. And Brandy, I don't know if you've seen the comments, but so many people welcoming you back and saying hi. So it is amazing to have you here.
Definitely a hot second.
Sorry.
No, it's definitely been a hot second since I've been on. So I have all that rusty stuff going.
So in the chat, there are a lot of questions. There's a lot of interest in some of our roles. There's one that I would like to acknowledge first of all. So Courtney asked, are SkillBridge internships paid or unpaid? They are unpaid internships, Courtney, because they are only accessible to those who are still active duty military members. And as such, the SkillBridge program allows transitioning service members who are still on active duty in the last 180 days of their service to go PTDY to a different place of work. So they are permanently seconded. So you are still getting paid by the military, still receiving all of your benefits, but it smooths out that transition. So technically unpaid by the host employer, but you are still paid by the military. Matt, our favorite, Matt Hart, one of our recruiters, put a great comment just now. So I just wanted to extrapolate and that out a little bit and then give some more detail. He said, when you do apply, make sure you have the relevant experience. 2, tailor your resume, and 3, have a great attitude. And I really want to focus on 2, tailor your resume, because what we are seeing right now are candidates who have amazing, phenomenal, absolutely spot on experience, but they don't, and they don't know how to, or they haven't detailed that specific experience in their resume. So for example, you apply, you think, yeah, no, I've got the great experience, but you haven't communicated all of that on your resume. You've just sent a generic one with your whole of your military career. And what you need to make sure you're doing is instilling the same level of confidence and knowledge in us who know nothing about you. We can't read between the lines. We can't read into your EPRs or your OPRs and go, oh yeah, actually you did do this here, 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 and here. All we see are those words on the paper. So you need to make sure you are manipulating, and I did say manipulate, your application so that I see the version of you. We see the version and the experience of you that is absolutely necessary for the role that you apply to. So I just wanted to leave you with that as well, because so many people are interested. We really did want to make sure that if you are submitting your resume, then you have got a chance of actually meeting with one of our recruiters and being progressed through the process. Another question from Anthony is, do we have any roles for military spouses? All of our roles are for military spouses. I know there are some are, very much stake in the ground in terms of location, but others are remote as well. There is a specific organization that is advertising MilSpouse internships and pathways today. So I will be sharing that. If you follow me or if you're connected with me, I will be sharing that. And that's in the IT service help desk area as well. So if that's of interest, do connect with me before I put that post up a little bit later on. People have asked, have we got opportunities in Texas? Have we got opportunities in Georgia, in North Carolina? The short answer is yes, we absolutely have. Take a look at our website. Too many to detail right now. HireMilitary.us. Somebody just asked for that again. So it's HireMilitary, all one word, .us, and you will be able to see everything that we've got there. On behalf of me and the rest of the team, it was so lovely to see you all today. Come back again next week and join in. Save up your questions, keep them there so that we can answer them for you. And we will be back at 2 p.m. Eastern time next Tuesday, where it will be October. And we will have our feet firmly in the full door. So we look forward to it. Take care and have lovely weeks. Bye-bye.